Well, good afternoon everybody out there in YouTube land. Another sunny, shiny day in central Queensland in the gem fields. I'm going to just do a shutdown. I've washed a heap of roof material out of the mine doing a maintenance run, so I always wash everything. But yeah, just give you a look at the plant. Here we have our recycling ponds. So the water comes out, gravity feeds down into our recycling ponds, into here, into my mud bath, spa bath. Lovely to get in there and have a muddy spa bath. The Tremel now, the hopper is empty, dirt has come up into the up and over, into the hopper. Conveyor is finishing. We're just winding down now. The Tremel is finished. We put everything onto the sorting table here and we sort it out. Bit of dirt and dust on there. So this is what we do. Shut down conveyor belt. Shut down up and over to main drive. We can shut down the waste conveyor belt. We can shut down the Tremel. Oh, a bit quieter. So I, as a rule, let the pulsator run for a few more minutes. Check up there that there's no debris. And you can see she's all flowing nicely. You come up to here, and a good way of testing things is you can put your fingers in there and it will pull them down. That's quite empty. Check the sieve at the bottom. Yes, clean. That's our sand waste. So that all sounds really good. There's our waste material being washed. So time to do the second shutdown. So the second shutdown would be turn the pulsator off. Turn the water supplies off. And there we go. Plant is shut down. So everything recycles back to the ponds now. Everything drains out. Now check everything's in order. Mine shaft is closed, lid is on. We get some thunderstorms lately. Mine shaft is closed, lid is on. Everything's in order here. So now the fun part starts. We get to clean out the pulsator. So I've got a bucket here and all of this material in here we get to clean out. So as you can see here, this is the last box, and I always have, you're going to have a little scratch in here and you never see anything in there. If you do, you must be onto a really rich bit of ground. There's a bit of spinel, interesting. A little bit of spinel in there, must have floated across. Nothing in that one. And nice ironstone. Now this was roof material. I'm not expecting any miracles. I'm not expecting anything out of this. But if I do, I do. Because it's the roof, I don't waste it. Because sapphires are where you find them. You can see a lot of quartz in this stuff. So it's roof material. So what we call it's the upper 2 meters or metre and a half of the mine. A lot of quartz because it's light. And a little bit of ironstone in it, some ironstones, which is still a good sign, and that looks lovely and clean. So we can just have a little sneak preview there, and maybe a little bit of note. So then off to the third one. Now the third one can hold material, so we move a bit of the heavy rock out the way. This is what we do on a daily basis, get the heavy rock out of the way. Obviously nice sunlight you can see. Oh, wouldn't that have been lovely if that was a big blue-green sapphire. But that's a bit of pretty rock. So here we go, we just have a little ticky boo in here. And not a lot of ironstone. Little piece there, no. Nothing here, little in the corners. Not a lot of ironstone, lots of light quartzy stuff. So not expecting too much there. So let's go across to the other box. There's some big quartz here. It's getting quite dark now. And it's going to be hard to see much of anything there. Can have a little look in there. The camera might show you a bit more than what I can see, but no real ironstone, a little flush of it there. So this is the stuff I'll start scooping out. So that stuff there, lots of quartz in it. Some big ironstones though, big ironstones. We'll dump that out there. Oh, there's a bit more of a spinel there. So that stuff there, that spinel, that's what we're looking for when we're mining. Hopefully that just stuck to a bit of clay and floated across. Don't normally like to see that in the last box, but it could have just floated. Anyhow, let's get a bucket. Right, a good old egg slice and the butt chip. Oh, the lump of clay in there, I don't know why that's in there. Anyhow, we'll just put this up here, guys. Hang on with me for a sec. So, change hands. What I do here is I'll just scoop it into here. So, everything will go home to the pulsator, to the little tremble. It's quite large rocks in there. Let's get some of this big stuff out of here. Obviously, we know there's nothing in there. And hope you realise, guys, I can't see nothing. So if you see something there, leave it in the comments. I can't see because I'm doing this one-handed. But this is what I call maintenance day. I've done a maintenance day, and I've opened up the drive with head height and cleaned it up and got it in that egg shape to make it safe. So the next wash I do will be mainly concentrated on the lower floor, the pay dirt. This is all the roof. But big yellow stones have been found up 2 or 3 meters off the floor. They are where they are. So there we go. We've pretty well got that clean, I think. No real trace in there. Normally you can see a lot of trace in there, and that's it in the bucket. Not anything too exciting there. So no. So now let's have a go at the next one. Pull out the big large rocks. See, you can see it's a lot clean here. There's a bit of blue clay there, so we can pull it. It would be lovely to see 100 carat stone in here. And there we go. We've got some big rocks out of there. Bit of ice. So as you can see, again, it's all quartzy. A little bit of clay there. I'm just going to swap hands for a sec. Hopefully the phone still works. A little bit of very light stuff, slatey. You can see the slate and the quartz, which is half the weight. So sapphire is 3 times heavier than water. This stuff here is as dense as water and not even as heavy. So let's have a little look down here. I can't really see anything there. This is where they normally hide. A couple of bit of ironstone there, and they normally sit down in here, and nothing exciting in there. I don't think there's even anything in there. Not even any trace. I don't know, you might be able to see, I'm in the shadows. No, well but this is what we do. You have days like this. You've got to be smart and look after your mind. So this is me being smart. So, but all this will go through the willoughby. Could be a little stone in there. Oh, fingers in the way. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I can see it's all slaty sort of light stuff, but anyhow, I don't throw it, I don't move it in the mine somewhere else as waste material like some people do. I like to put it through because you've dug it up and you've put it into the barrow, so why not go an extra step and send it up and wash it. A lot of people would just move this into other parts of their mine as waste. But I like to have a look at it. I've heard many stories of people finding lovely big stones in what they think is waste. So there we go. So that's pretty well got that done. I'll show you that. So we'll put this stuff back down here. So then what we do, that's a bucket. So that's now what we call our concentrate. Oh yeah, there you go. So you've seen it firsthand. There's a bit of, oh, another bit of spinel. Anyhow, that's what it looks like. So all of that in there is down to there. So what we do is we prep up the box a little bit more. So a bit of stone there to get it started. Now, as a rule, nobody else is on your mind, so you can leave this material in here, and then once a week or so, there's a little bit of trace in there as well. Once a week or so, you can give it a good clean out and just see, because occasionally, when it's clayey or muddy, occasionally on a bit of mud or a bit of clay, a sapphire can travel a little bit, but and you do find the odd dark blue. So there we go. That kind of looks all right for next time. That's sort of partly prepped. That's what we want to see, a big bit of nice old ironstone. Anyhow, so that's where we are with that. I will leave that like that. That's ready to go. There's a waste material, and there's our bucket, would be our bucket of goodies, but I just haven't shown you much of what happens here. So then that's all, and then our waste goes over there, and then it's moved. So that's all waste from underground. There's quite a few years of waste there. That's the sand that gets separated out, and the heavy stone you can see around here. The heavy stones, look at them. These are big mud wops, big lumps of clay. But there has been, on the rare occasion, stories where people have found a big sapphire that big. It has happened, trust me, it has happened, but not to me. But anyhow, that's our plant. You've probably seen it on the TV show on Gem Hunters Down Under. With Ray and Paul, that's the plant. So there she is, and don't know what else to say. I thought I'd just do a little video on. Sorry that there's nothing in the bucket really shiny to jump out, but that's how things go. So now I'll take that home. Normally you would put that in the sieve, and then you would give it a willoughby, and then you bring it over here and you flip it on the table where all this waste is. But now I go home and I have a cup of tea and relax, and I do it in the shade. It's not too bad today, it's about 32. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that little rundown of the wash plant and what happens. I just made it short because it takes about 2 hours from filling the hopper up with about 10 or 12 barrels in it. Everything's all mechanically gearboxed to run at a certain speed, so nothing overloads, as you can see here, and it takes about 2 hours to do a wash on any good day. So there you go. So a couple of hours you drill it out, and then a couple of hours, you know, you can start the machine up once you get enough in the hopper and get ahead of yourself. But that's what happens every day in a miner's life. So no real big pretty stones today, but hopefully I can keep doing this odd one and we might find something pretty in the box. Anyway, living the dream from Australia. Ciao for now.